What up, world? On that with Mr. Be Great today, Lamar King Sr. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm going to just jump right in it. In response to my previous video about the male reaction of the Roe versus Wade being overturned by the Supreme Court, I think on last Friday. And my whole purpose of the video, the whole purpose of the podcast of that show or that episode was to kind of correlate the feelings involved or correlate the similarities of what a male perspective of what that ruling was versus the female perspective. And I think in some cases women took it as a shot at women. Some women took it as a, I don't know, derogatory or some type of, and the whole reasoning behind it was to let women understand that as a man, and specifically a black man, in a lot of situations that I have seen in my lifetime, that not being able to voice your opinion in a situation concerning a child is a terrible, terrible, terrible feeling. It is. And I've seen so many horror stories where men have not been able to have a say-so in a child's life. And women took it as if, men, you need to be quiet. You need to sit this one out. You don't know what you're talking about. You can't have, you don't know what a woman's body go through. And I don't know what it takes to birth a child in this world. But I do know how to, I would say, help conceive a child or produce a child in this world. And when a man who has just as much responsibility about a child is supposed to not have an opinion when a child being born or unborn is at hand. That doesn't make sense to me as to how can a man help conceive a child and not have a say-so in whether the child is born. In 99.9% of the time, in a situation where a child is being born outside of a husband and wife, the man has been voiceless on whether that child can be born or not. Or even in some cases, after the child is even born, the man has still had no voice in certain situations. And that feeling of not having a voice, it should, I was just telling women, we empathize with not having a voice in a matter concerning a child. And I understand that a woman's body go through so many changes. I understand that, and that is just the law of physics. The man had no say-so or no doing about who is to deliver the child into this world. Unfortunately, I would have to say that women carry the burden of childbirth. But men also have some say-so in it, because without the man, there is no child. And my whole point is that the government is placing these infractions on people. The government is the one who said initially that even the only way you have a say-so in a child being born or not is by your husband. Or the only way after the fact, if the child is outside the womb, you have to say so in that child's life if you're married. But we all know that there are so many single parent homes in this world, especially in the black community, where the man has no say so on the life of a child, whether it be born or what it does after the child is born. And now the government is telling women, you don't have a say so. And women are turning around and saying, men, shut up. It's men, but they're not placing that effort towards the government. The government has been doing the same thing. Black men are disproportionately locked up because they disproportionately make laws against black men. They have been passing laws against black men, specifically targeting black men in so many cases, in so many scenarios where the men go voiceless. And it's not attack. It shouldn't be an attack on between the men and women. It should be an attack on, look at what the government has done, periodically, what they have done historically in this country. They have slowly but surely pulled away our inalienable rights of what we should and what we can and what we cannot do. And that's where the fight should be. But now, some people say now, well, man, you need to get on our side. But look at all the disparities that have been going on in history, where men have been pleading for women to be on their side in certain situations. More times than not, the argument is that most of the government are made up of men. Again, the government has been made majority of men since the inception of this country. That's just cold hard facts, and I don't know where you change that at. And I'm just seeing a lot of, backlash in the black community saying, well, most of the government makeup is men. But do the men look like me? Is the majority of the men do they look like me? So the fight is not between the black man and the black woman. The fight should be against the black man, the black woman versus the government. So the government says, shut up, women. And then the women turn around and say, shut up, men. They're playing us like a violin. Got a show coming up this weekend called Politricks. And it talks about how the politicians have tricked the American public. So my thing is, we should try to understand that men have been dealing with laws being passed where they are voiceless, or laws being passed that targets them specifically. Because this overturning of Roe versus Wade targets women specifically. Like, is a bill that is going direct, that only affects women. So we have to understand that men have been going through this. Men have dealt with having that feeling of not having a control or having a say-so or having a voice whether a child is brought into this world. It was not a shot at women telling them what they can and can't do with their body. It was not. It was just showing a comparison. And women will tell you, sit this one out. You have no say-so about the matter. You can't tell, you don't know what a woman's bodies go through. I don't. But I know what it feels like when you don't have a voice. Men around this country know what it feels like when they don't have a voice in certain situations. It doesn't feel good. It is a situation where we all wish would go away. Men wish they had their right. Men wish they had their rights in situations where the child is born out of wedlock. They wish they had their rights at conception. And a lot of times, more times than not, is when the man is trying to be a good father. The man is trying to be involved in the child's life. I've seen situations where the man can see the child forever, as long as as soon as he gets with somebody. A friend of mine seen 17. His child is going to be 17 years old. And they're taking, and the woman is taking child support out on him because he's moved on. I've seen scenarios, and people say that has nothing to do with it, but the feeling of not having a voice, the feeling of not being able to voice your opinion in a life that you helped produce. And the government has stripped that away. They have stripped that right away years ago from men, and now they're stripping that right away from women. But somehow we have found out that we have to be at each other's throat. And again, the government did this. And here's another tidbit. And I'm gonna give you a little insight on what the show is about coming this weekend, Politricks. We talk about how the Democrats control the House, the Senate, and the Oval Office. So the Democrats really can write an amendment to the Constitution that supersedes the Supreme Court. If they really wanted to fix this, they have the numbers now. They have the numbers where they can amend the Constitution. They control everything. They have the power now to do a lot of things. They have the power now to do a lot of things. But are they doing it? And I'm talking to the black community who majority votes Democrat. These people could actually end this. Because what's in your, make sure you tune in this weekend so you can get a little better understanding. I got a great friend of mine on the show, John McEwen, and we talk about how the structure of the government is in place to where they can actually write an amendment to the Constitution because they have the numbers. But instead of doing that, they saying, oh, the Democrats did this, but not they're saying the Republicans did this. Oh, the Republicans are driving us into a hole, but they have the power. They have the numbers. Just think, whatever you want to get through, you can get through. If you want to amend the Constitution on a real factor where you're talking about, and the Supreme Court has ruled, the one that's Republican ruled, but you got the numbers in the three branches of government. You have it. Outside of the judiciary, well, two of them. You have the controlling power in the two branches of government. Judiciary, I guess in the Supreme Court, the Republicans have more appointees, but guess what? The Constitution supersedes case law. So, and that's what Roe versus Wade is. It's based on a case ruling. So they just, if one person can use it, then the whole country can use it when it comes down to the Supreme Court. And now that they've overturned it, now that's the ruling on all cases across. They say you're sending it back to the state. You handle it on the state level. And some states are saying we're not going by that. And I'm just saying that if you really want to be upset with someone by voicing their opinion, your elected officials are the ones that did this. They're the one that allowed this. Because if I'm not mistaken, do your research. We talk about it on this weekend's podcast, Politics. They introduced a bill to amend the Constitution. But they wanted to have an abortion all the way up to one day of birth. Of course, that's going to get shot down. No one's going to have the baby's born then. But you're focusing, the government said shut up, and you said, man, you shut up. No one's talking to you. This is a woman's mouth. We're affected by this. You don't know what a woman's go through. We know what it feels like not to have a voice. And it's not so fun when the government is not playing in favor, because most of the time the government has been telling men to shut up. They've been telling men to shut up forever, especially in situations where an abortion, even if it's prevalent outside of being rape, incest, and these things do happen. But I'm talking about outside of that. More abortions, it's a percentage, but I don't know how much a percentage is rape or incest or medical conditions. I'm pretty sure it's a significant number. Even hell, one is too many. But things like, of course, unfortunately, we got some evil people in this world that do some evil things, and I hate it. Like they should, a woman shouldn't have to be. That's my whole point. The government shouldn't be telling man nor woman what they can and can't do concerning the child that the man and the woman produce. Just like I said, when men can be held accountable just by DNA, but that DNA is not strong enough for him to where he don't have to get legitimized. Now he got to, and again, women, that is a fucked up feeling that you got to go through all these hoops. Because just like now, you're probably gonna have to go through some extra steps in order just to get an abortion. They may even want you to go to court. They may want you to do all this. They may want you to declare, all these different things. I don't think they totally outlawed it, but they're going to put it back to the state. And now they may require you to jump through some more hoops just to do what you want to do with your child. That's the thing. And men have to have the when you have to make yourself inconvenience yourself just to be a part of a situation or control or be in the controlling factor in the birth of your child. When you have no say so, when someone else can throw out their high joker, their big joker, and trump your ace. That is a horrible feeling, ladies, and that's why that's what I'm telling you. I can empathize when you have no say so. I'm not shooting down the fact the bodily changes and things you have to go through as far as carrying to carrying a baby full term. I'm just saying the actual thought that they're telling you have no voice in this situation. They're saying you can't say, and I'm not talking about the fact that you got to carry the baby. I'm talking about the fact that you can't say nothing. That's the part that's kind of, and again, that's the same. We're on the same side. The government shouldn't be able to do this. So the frustration, what's the next step? And then on top of that, just like I said, the Democrats are in control. The Democrats, the elected officials that have got majority of the black vote, just like Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. He got majority of the black vote. That's a percentage of the country he know that the Democrats guaranteed to get. But the most people that are upset about this, like this bill, the Republicans are happy and the Democrats are mad. Divide and conquer. And then they've even divided more along the black community in some instances. Like they're playing us like a flute. And we're falling for it. We're falling for the banana in the tailpipe. And why don't the Democrats, why don't they amend the Constitution with the power and the numbers they have? Why can't they do that? Why are they not exercising their power to do that? If they are so pro-choice, then they got the numbers to do what needs to be done. But yet and still they're letting it play out. We're going to put it on the ballot in November. It's a game, people. It's a game. And they're playing us like a flute. They have us at each other's throat along political lines. Because this is all this is. This is nothing but politics. They don't care about a life. They could care less. It's all politics. Let's press on issues that'll further divide the nation. To further divide the household. And it's working like a charm. It's working like a charm, and we don't see it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, men have been fussing about or been making an issue or pressing the issue on this matter for so many years and so many situations and so many circumstances. And people try to act like I'm just crazy, like I'm just talking out my ass, like I'm so far left field that has nothing to do. Like, you can't even understand what I'm saying. You're not picking up on what I'm saying because you want to argue. It's not an argument. It's not an argument. It is the fact that this feeling is not something that I wish on anybody. Being not having to say so in the matter of your child is some bullshit coming from a government that's supposed to protect and serve the people. But we have been duped and gave them away all their power. We have relinquished all our power to the government. And another thing, you know why they're making decisions on your child? Because we freely give our children away. Our children are a ward of the state. Even to the fact, like, think about it, in situations, if we care so much about the children, as far as like, God only gives life. People are playing God on who gives life. God bless you with a child. And I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but what I'm saying is, who said man has a right to decide who or what lives and dies? Like, I don't understand that. Like, that's disturbing to my soul, to the fact that you saying, I want to kill a life before it is even born. I want to be able to have that ability. The fact that sounds like that's normal, that is great. We're in a world that is completely upside down. Now, we're talking about killing unborn fetuses, and I understand that women go through things. Women been going through things all their life. Women didn't even have a right to vote. Women, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, your grandmother had it worse. And they had those kids on the far worst circumstances. And now people want to have the ability to murder the child. That's my point. Like, and the fact that you can't no more. Damn, I'm talking about the body. The fact that you can't kill a child anymore is disturbing to my soul. And I may not be a woman, and I may not understand it, but it's disturbing to my soul that you want to kill a child that is not even born yet. That shit is disturbing to me. Because when you be of this world, you do of this world. And guess what? I'm not glorifying the fact about abortion. Because guess what? I have paid for an abortion in my heyday, in my teenage years. I have said, well, here, we can't afford the baby. We're gonna do that. I have done it. I was thinking like that. Oh Lord, I'm too young. I can't do this. But the thing about it is, we are not God. You are not God. You shouldn't be able to have. You think you have the power to murder something. You think you have the power to cut the lifeline off from something that you didn't even create. And most of you people are Christians. Most of you people gonna get up and go to Sunday school, church, Bible study, and everything. And you talking about the woman should have a choice. No, it's God's choice according to your word. And that makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me that most of the people that are for this, who want to have the ability to kill a child, are Christians. And then they'll find a scripture that are justified at some point. I think I seen some on the internet where they'll try to find a scripture to justify, but I according to the Old Testament, it said, "Thou shalt not kill." But if we are more mostly a Christian country, in God we trust, like everything is based, for the majority in this country are Christians. But you want to talk about pro-choice in life? You want to have the ability to kill a child that has not yet been born in this world. Is something not wrong with that picture? Am I the only sane person in the world that stand that above women complication, above? I understand that women get raped. I understand, but we know that majority of these abortions that are did in this country are planned. They were from consensual sex, and that's what I said in my initial podcast. Majority of the abortions in this world is from consensual sex. It's not from a rape. And I'm not saying all women or all abortions are not including rape. There are some people that get raped. There are some people that have been raped by their uncle. There are some situations where the baby, it may kill the mother or the child. There are some situations, but you want to talk about, I guarantee you about 80% of the abortions in this country come from consensual sex, where women saying, I don't want to have the baby, or I got to go through these different changes. But it's all about accountability. Like outside of the rape, most of the outside of you take the 10, 15, 20, whatever, 30% of the rapes that are committed by abortion, or that are committed by incest, or committed by, having medical conditions, you take that, whatever percentage that is, out. And I guarantee you still got 70, 80, maybe even 90% that are from consensual sex, or an extramarital affair, or whatever you want to call it. Or I just don't have the financial obligation. The dad ain't gonna be there for me. Or I don't wanna. My body's gonna go through so many changes. I'm just gonna kill this life. And that's a medical condition. If you're going through some medical, people say, well, they can't breastfeed. Man, come on. You're not God. I think that's my whole thing. You can't play God. If God gave you life, the people that are the majority of the Democratic Party, the people that are on the side of pro-choice, they are Christians. They are something of some type of Christian faith. Yeah, you can't even be a Democratic problem if you're talking about. It's very few, especially in different states in the U.S. Senate or in the U.S. House of Representatives. Like it's very few. It's a very minute of someone of even the Muslim faith There are not that many people of Muslim faith, and not to say Muslims don't believe in killing. The thing about it, you want to have the power to kill a child. You want to have the power to say, well, I don't want to go through this because a woman's body is going through so many changes, and I'm not downplaying the fact that it does. But you want to be able to have the ability to say who lives and who dies. And I think that's the biggest thing, and that's the biggest issue with me as far as what's going on in this country today is like everybody want to play God. Everybody want to be the judge and the jury. Like, that's not cool. I don't care, and I stand on that. I stand on that. No one should have the ability to murder or take away life. Like, even look at it, like us as true human beings, our body is not made to even eat meat, kill animals. Like seriously, you mean to tell me you want the ability to kill a fetus, to kill a life that has a heartbeat? You want to be able to kill that, but you better not kill that dog in this country. You better not put your hand on that dog now. You kill that dog, we're gonna send you up that road. You abuse that dog, you going to jail. We're gonna lock you up. Outside of a dog having medical conditions where you got to go put him down, or then he got old, anything, you better not even have him outside on the chain in certain states. You better not mistreat that dog in any way. You better not. If you do, and again, we talking about an animal, but people also ain't nobody talking about the chicken. You can go kill as many chickens you want because we eat chicken. You can go kill many cows you want because we eat cows. But a dog or a cat, you might be labeled a serial killer. You know how it go. Little kids that kill animals, most like they say they equate that to serial, like a behavioral problem. But you can kill a chicken, many chickens you want. You can kill as many cows you want. But you better not kill that dog. Or you can kill as many babies you want. You want the ability to be able to kill a child. And that's the part I just don't get. And now that the fact that you don't have a say so, outside of that's not even my argument, but I'm just saying I don't think that we should be able to have the ability to say who lives and dies. That's just my personal opinion. A lot of y'all might not agree with it, but that's what it is. That's how I feel. I feel that no one should be ability, no one can say who lives and who dies in this country. Like, don't nobody sit higher than God. Don't nobody sit that high. God is the only one that gives life and take life. In this Christian country that we live in, that's the morals and values that the Christian faith is built on. That's the morals and values that this country is built on. You go out here and kill a person that has a heartbeat. You kill a child that has a heartbeat. And I understand that women body go, but the child life is above. Even I understand women die on the delivery table. They do. No man should. No man has had to take the risk of dying on the delivery table. And the probability of it happens. But guess what? God gives life and God takes life. In some situations, but guess what? And in some situations, guess what? The mom and the baby may die, and that's unfortunate. I'm not insensitive. I'm not a heartless. Don't care about but I do care about the fact that people want the ability to kill a child before it can even reach this world, based on some ideology that is my body. How did you get that body? You were born. Somebody gave you an opportunity to live, and now you want to say, I want to be able to kill. Now that you done got your ticket, now that you done punched your ticket, now you done made it to the show, I want to be the judge and the jury. I want to be God. I want to be in control of this situation. It's my body. I determine. Which is, it doesn't seem right to me. It doesn't sit well when now it takes the government to tell you that you can't do nothing. Now you feel like you want to be in control, which I empathize with that fact, because my whole point in case from the initial podcast was that men can understand not having a voice or say so, and it was just a correlation between the feeling of not having a voice and it's something that the government is telling you have to do. That was the correlation. It wasn't the fact that I didn't care about, a woman, what she has to go through. I'm fortunate enough to be born a man where I don't have to carry the burden of childbirth. I couldn't even fathom the situations that women go through when they have a child. But at the end of the day, this is the law of nature. Women give birth to children. The females give birth to the offspring. That's just how it works across the board. I didn't make the rules, and women, you didn't make the rules either. But now that you have that responsibility as a woman to give birth, you want to be able to have the response. You want to be the judge and the jury on the deciding fact on whether this child is born, lives, or dies. Why do you think you have that power? Why do you think you have the ability or capability to have a child? To multiply and be fruitful. But it's all about, and I said something requiring men to wear condoms. And then it came in, well, the rapists don't wear condoms. Yeah, but I'm talking about the consensual sex. I'm talking about the people outside of the rape, outside of the people who are products of a sick uncle or a sick relative, outside of the people who have medical conditions, right? I'm talking about the people, the 70, the 80, the 90% of people who have abortions that are from consensual sex. The majority of the whole population of the abortion population. And 9 times out of 10, we're talking about situations where they're probably not married. More times than I know and guess what? It's a portion of people who are probably married that is having an abortion. I'm not naive to that. But I'm almost willing to bet my shirt that majority of abortions in this country, they come from consensual, unprotected sex. And that's just bottom line. But the fact that now you can't say anything about whether you can have a child or not across the board, that's the same way in certain situations where men have felt the same way. Do you see the correlation as far as what it feels like to not be in control? That it doesn't feel good, and the whole culprit in this matter is not the person of the opposite sex that looks like you and I. It is the government, who is majority ran by men, who are majority ran by white men and white women. There's a small percentage of black or other in the whole government, the whole 3 branches of government. Very small. But and people are saying, putting out statistics where 60% of white women have abortions. I've seen different numbers. From what I've seen, I know it's about 35% of black women that have abortions. We only make up 13% of the population. So we make up 35% of the abortions. We only make up 13% of the population, but we make up probably about 60%, if not more, of the prison populations on the man's side. And because there's been so many laws that have been placed, and it's so many people that's been put in prison for nothing with no voice. You know how many people or how many black men have been voiceless in this country. And then now when the government tells a woman to hush, the government tell all women to be quiet, you're gonna do what we tell you to do. Somehow or another, the focus is on black men, sit this out. Men, you just need to sit this out. You don't have a say-so in the matter. And guess what? Men have never had a say-so. Men have always had no say-so in the matter. And now that you're feeling the backlash, the government tells you to shut up, and you telling the man to shut up. The government already told us we ain't have no say-so. The government already told us to shut up and take it and deal with it. Especially for the black man. And here we are. Here we are. Even I'm seeing this whole video where the black man brings his McDonald's to his kids. And matter of fact, I'm gonna play the video. Y'all check it out. Listen at it.
Come here with one fucking meal for my child.
No, I don't get my food stamps to the 7th.
Listen, how is that my problem?
But if you're trying to help out, though, you're not helping out.
I'm not trying to help. I'm trying to help my son.
But how are you helping your son when you're only getting food for just him and not the other kids, his siblings?
Listen, you have
Them are his siblings, though.
Listen, how is that my problem?
But if you're trying to help out, though, you're not helping out.
I'm not trying to help. I'm trying to help my son.
But how are you helping your son when you're only getting food for just him and not the other kids, his siblings?
You have
Them are his siblings, though.
You have
He's not finna eat in front of all his other siblings if they're not eating on McDonald's. No, why do I gotta put...
Bring him out to the car. I'll let you
No. He's not finna eat that shit at all if you can't bring enough for everybody.
Lisa, so you telling me that I gotta bring... So when I bring my son food, I gotta bring your kids food too now?
Yes.
You sound f***ing dumb.
How is that shit dumb? You sound dumb. You sound dumb.
Where are they daddies at? Nobody told you to talk to them other... You had them other kids. Them your responsibility. They're not my responsibility.
Okay, but if you're gonna bring one, you need to bring it for all.
Lisa,
How do that shit look that I'm letting one child eat McDonald's and all the rest of the kids can't eat no fucking McDonald's?
So
You know I get food stamps on the 11th.
That ain't 3 kids that ain't mine. 3 kids that ain't mine. What do
Yeah,
I look like? I bring
they're his
I
siblings.
bring him
You
food.
knew what you was getting into when you had a baby with me.
No, the f- I did.
Yes, you did.
Man, you expect me to take care of all the kids? They're not my kids.
Okay, but you still had a baby with me who have kids with other people. I still have other kids.
Why are you recording me first of all?
Because I'm exposing you. Everybody think you such a motherfucking good daddy.
I am a good daddy.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're full of shit in this bullshit. You only come here with one fucking piece of food for one child.
The child that's mine, silly.
No, that's dumb that you can't feed the other kids. Don't feed nobody at all then. He can't take that shit.
So listen what
He
you
can't
said.
eat it.
Maybe if you had 1 or 2, I can maybe. You got it's 4, it's 3 extra kids. What the f? You all like going to my mother?
All right. So now you got women saying that if you can't bring McDonald's for all the kids, you shouldn't be able to bring. The guy only had 1 kid, as you can see. The guy only had 1 kid. She had 3 other kids, and she expected him to bring McDonald's for all the kids. And you got women that are saying that, well, if you can't get it, I love the kids. He should have brought it all. Still, this man he's trying to be a father. Man is doing, if he wasn't bringing, it's almost to the point where, you know what, I ain't bringing no McDonald's. And they get like, well, I'm finna go, you know what I would have did? I'm gonna say, you know what, have Junior to come outside. Have my little girl to come outside. I'm finna take her somewhere. I'm not saying like, fuck the kids that they say. What I'm saying, fuck them kids. I'm not saying that. But when it became his responsibility, like if he did nothing, and I can see if she had 1 kid. You know what I mean? I can see if she had 1 kid. That would be, okay, let me get both of them. But sometimes it'd be like, you know what? Then the man probably he said, I ain't have $4. He might not have. He wasn't probably financially able to buy 4, meals for the kids. You know what I mean? Like, for real. And she's like, well, I get my food stamps on the... Come on, man. But you want the man don't get no food stamp. In a situation like that, the man ain't getting no food stamp. But ain't nobody saying nothing about it. Like, it's like the black man gets so much backlash, even in a situation where they trying to do right. And she said, ain't nobody talking about how what you mean? I'm pretty sure if you got 4 kids, imagine how much food stamps she get. Why she ain't got a freezer full of food? Maybe perhaps she sold them. Maybe perhaps she put, you know how they do. I got 100 for 50. I got now they got 100 for 75. She's selling food stamps, and I ain't saying she did, but it's a probability because with 4 kids, and I'm a product of the welfare system. I know with 4 kids, man, you get a bunch of stamps. Why the refrigerator ain't full? Or they ate already, or whatever. Like like ain't nobody holding the woman accountable that I ain't got no money. I don't get my stamps to the like for real. Like it doesn't. Ain't nobody. And that's I think when it comes down to situations like that, women don't want to hold the women accountable. Just like I seen a video the other day where a woman killed her children, not the one that recently happened in Atlanta. It was a woman, she was in Ohio, I want to say, and she killed her 2 kids and put them in a freezer, and they didn't find them till 3 years later. And they were in court when it came out, and the fathers, the 2 kids she killed, the 2 children that she killed, the 2 fathers, baby fathers were there. The 2 fathers of the children were there. And one of the fathers testified that he saw whelps on the child's back. He saw whelps on the child's back, and unfortunately he sent that child back into the house with the mother without reporting her, which he dropped the ball on that probably, not no problem, but he dropped the ball on that. But when I went into the comment section and just reading through the comments, they said the father should be locked up too. They should go to jail too. The father should did it. Like every comment, they should lock the fathers up out of the whole scenario. They didn't see the fact that the mother killed the children and put them in a freezer for 3 years. No one talked about how she should have been getting the death penalty. Nobody talked about that in the comment section. All they focused on was the father should be in prison too. Which probably, and just think, if this woman had the mentality of killing her kids and put them in the freezer for 3 years, what do you think the hell she was taking those men through? I can only imagine the things that they took, that woman was taking those men through, as far as trying to be a father, like even trying to be in the kid's life. Like I'm serious. Like, even though I understand the kid was being abused, he probably should have made some made some noise about it. He more than likely he should have said something about it. But even I've been in situations where my mother, they put them switches. You have whelps on you. I have got an ass whooping where I had whelps on me. Was my mother abusing me? And by today's standard, she probably was. But back in our day, that's what you got. You would get the switches, belts, extension cords. Like it happened. And I'm not, and the thing about it wasn't like you got beat like that every day. Like, you had to do some fucked up shit. You had to do something that was totally out of the, like, more times than not. Like, if you, like, I remember one time I went to school, got suspended, and the day I went back to school, I got suspended again, like the very same day. And my mom was furious. Like, and then the thing about it, she didn't even whoop me the first time. So then the second time, she tore my ass up. She tore my ass up because I went back to that school and I acted in a way, and you know what I mean. People by today's standard, that's what they would call it a little bit excessive. But none of those standards, in a sense, I should have got my ass tore up because I didn't learn the first time. And it wasn't like I was just getting beat down every day. But if I did some, we like, especially like we went somewhere and I've got caught stealing before. You get caught stealing, you go to that damn store, you get caught stealing, you finna get the shit beat out you, and what you should. Because guess what? If you get caught stealing, you got an age, and they take you to jail, they gonna do what they want to do to you. And I think we've gotten away from that. People want to say, well, you shouldn't be able to hit. But look at what it's producing. And I'm not saying I'm not all for abusing children. Now, there's a better way of communicating, talking to them, and using corporal punishment, when needed. Because if my child goes and do like I did and go into Belk's department store and get caught stealing, I'm gonna tear that ass up. You know what I mean? And I don't give a damn who don't like it. And that's just me. You know what I'm saying? But my whole point of the whole story was, in the whole situation, when the guys when they sent those children back into that home, people in the comment section said, man, they should lock the men up too. Like, no, not one comment said that woman should have got the death penalty. Now, one comment was, like, majority of the comments was focused on the men. Like, a lot of times they'll dissect and pull it out. And it's not a man wants his woman. Just like I said when my first podcast, this is not a platform where it's going to be a man versus woman debate. It should be a collective front. When are we going to stop this man-woman debate? Where it's men versus against women, women against men. Why can't we just have a collective front? Like, everybody's so far, there's no middle. Everybody, you either way over here or you're way over there, and they got it by design. They got it They got us exactly what politics. Y'all make sure y'all tune into my show. And it's all by design, but still people won't even take this part of the show out. These people, like everything I'm saying was all about why are we so far apart, why we can't see each other, why we can't empathize with each other, why women can't see that we can empathize with your situation, because we know how it feels to not have a voice. And even in situations when we do try to give what it can be very difficult for a lot of men in the black community. It can be very difficult for men who have no say-so in situations, and then be some. I have seen where women just show enough, just use the kids as pawns and just pit the kid. Like it happens, and you could try to act like it doesn't happen, but it does, and it happens a lot. Like it happens a lot, and people try to act like it doesn't happen, and like it doesn't affect what's going on as far as the generation now. Like the generation that's out there, the young men that are out there now doing all the crazy stuff that's happening throughout the cities. We've curbed the ball. People, especially in my generation, a lot of my friends and a lot of my brothers that I know, they stepped up to the bat, myself included. Like they were in the household with their kids. Like they made sure that those children got the fundamental skills in life. They picked up the torch and broke generational curses. No, a lot of people, like my kid, their kids are graduating college, things that they per se didn't probably do. Like I see it a lot. We've came a long way, but at the end of the day, the majority of the problems that happen in this country, or the majority of the people that are causing the problem in this country, come from single parents or come from being raised by single mothers. And when are we going to come together and stop being so divided? They have broken the black family down so bad that we stay at each other, we at odds with each other. And that's when things like this happen. That's when they can come pull women's rights away, which they've already did it to fathers. Just like I say, a father has to get a DNA test after the child is born, but then he has to also get a legitimized that the children are born out of wedlock. Like no one was trying to fight and say that ain't right, because it's not. It's never been right. But again, they keep us so at each other's up, and they say, okay, woman, even women, they can't get Section 8 housing if they got a man. It's so many women that get Section 8 and live in a big 2-story house. And the only reason why they get that because they ain't got no man, and saying they don't need no man. And with that mentality, what you need a man for? And I'm not against Section 8 because I'm a product of Section 8. I understand. I'm not against it. I'm not shooting it down, but I'm just saying how the system has been designed to X the man out the whole scenario. And people, we have fallen for it, hook, line, and sinker. And now that the government is saying, you know what? No, we're gonna taking you out the equation. And we saying, hey, we understand what you're saying. Now you want, okay, now, but ain't nobody. But again, you want the responsibility of you want to be the judge and jury. You want to play God. That's not cool. That's not cool. It's not cool for anyone to play God. Politics, all that, and they got us like, it's so convoluted. It's like a rubber band ball. It's boom, 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 boom. Man, I love you all, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Drop some comments. Let me know how you feel. I love, any comments, criticisms, replies. I enjoy them all. That's what this show for. It's here to have a conversation. It's here to have a dialogue. That's what it's all about. Let's talk about these things because it's happening to all of us. It's not just happening. Today is women. Tomorrow is going to be children. The next day is going to be this. The next day is going to be that. And the next day is going to be that. But if we keep looking at each other, not looking at the real demon in this matter, we're going to lose. I love you all. I love you all. Be great today. Peace.